Today on Discover the Nelsons, we're exploring the history, memories, and lives of two people united by a very strong bond. We'll take a journey through time as we discover what brought Steve and Amy together today. Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Klett. Today we're celebrating the lives and marriage of Steve and Amy Nelson. And as these two look forward to the future, we thought it only appropriate to take a look back at their past. So join us on this very special episode of Discover the Nelsons. Milwaukee is nestled along the banks of Lake Michigan and conveniently located along Interstates 43 and 94. It's also the birthplace of Stephen James Nelson and Amy Elizabeth Jablanka. Born on October 19th to Roy and Valerie Jablanka, Amy grew up in Whitefish Bay with her older brother Dan and her younger sister Katie. She was also very fortunate to live only minutes away from all of her grandparents, which only strengthened her family bond. Amy's love of the outdoors began at an early age, as the family would take numerous camping trips. Whether sleeping in a tent or their Airstream travel trailer, the entire family had a blast as they discovered Wisconsin. Amy had a well-rounded childhood as she took up a variety of activities, from swimming and horseback riding to simply picking up a good book. Amy was always up to something. That passion was only enhanced in high school. Amy took a strong interest in choir and the annual school musical, and her sense of adventure continued to grow as well. She spent a summer traveling with People to Eastern Bloc countries in Europe, another summer in Costa Rica with the American Field Service, and several summers at Camp Manitowish doing canoeing and backpacking trips. While attending the University of Iowa, Amy spent a year studying in Spain and traveling Europe with her sister, Katie. And since graduating, she has continued to enjoy traveling with the family. Her faith was strengthened when she joined Young Life during high school. That faith has grown steadily throughout the years. Her strong family connection has also led her to work for Glenroy, which her grandparents and dad started. Involvement in the business allows her more visits with family. She especially loves spoiling her two nieces and nephew whenever she can. They are such a joy. To learn more about Amy and her many adventures, simply visit SteveAmyWedding.com. When we come back, we're visiting a young lad also growing up on the shores of Lake Michigan. Stay tuned. Discover the Nelsons is brought to you with limited interruptions by Roy and Valerie Jablanka and Jim and Jan Nelson. We now return to Discover the Nelsons. Like Amy, Steve was also born in Milwaukee, albeit a few years earlier than Amy. Steve's parents, Jim and Jan, along with his sister Kathy and his dog Peppy, enjoyed traveling our great state of Wisconsin. Many family trips took them to Tomahawk and Washburn to visit the grandparents and take in the scenery of Wisconsin's North Woods. There were countless memories made fishing and deer hunting with the guys. And while every hunting trip may not have been a productive hunt, there were always fond memories being made spending time with family. High school was also an adventure for Steve. Whether he was cruising in his '69 Dodge Charger or other cars, or rocking with the band on his groovy trombone. Steve wasn't your typical rebel. Before heading off to college at St. Cloud State, Steve had to figure out where he was heading in life. It was during that time that he solidified his commitment to the Lord. That commitment grew while at St. Cloud, where he joined Chi Alpha, a Christian group, where he made some great friends, learned to lead worship, and took several outreach trips to San Diego, Mexico, and even to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, Brett Favre's hometown. During college, he also enjoyed some great times with his sister's family. Following college, Steve returned to Milwaukee and got his own place, followed by another place, followed by yet another place. In fact, he went through over 10 places and countless roommates before he purchased his home in Fox Point. I was fortunate to meet Steve over 10 years ago as he edited our television show, Discover Wisconsin. A few years and a couple of other career opportunities later, Steve came to the Discover MediaWorks staff. And honestly, we're blessed to have him. To learn more about Steve Nelson, his wonderful family, or the award-winning shows he works on, visit SteveAmyWedding.com. After this short break, we'll continue our journey and find out just how Steve and Amy met. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the conclusion of Discover the Nelsons. So the question of the night is, how did these two wonderful individuals come together to make an even more wonderful couple? So it's time to learn the rest of the story. In 1991, Steve joined Church in the City, where he served for 17 years. After meeting on Christmas Eve in 1996, Steve kept inviting Amy to his Bible study. Steve remained persistent and wouldn't take no for an answer. They grew closer as they spent a lot of time together with friends and serving on worship team together. They eventually started dating after a dinner at a friend's house. A long talk and what Steve describes as the best $5 in gas he's ever spent. Through the years, many moments were shared that continued to grow them closer together. The relationship developed and developed some more and continued to develop. And on the morning of October 12, 2008, very early, Steve drove back to Milwaukee to watch the sunrise over Lake Michigan with Amy. After some treats from Alterra and forgetting the ring in the trunk of his car, Steve finally took a deep breath and proposed to Amy at the Discovery World Pier. As we all know, because we're here today, she obviously said yes. And the planning was underway. A date was picked, invitations were sent, cake was tasted, and everything came together on this wonderful day. One thing's for sure, they will have many more adventures as they load up the ATVs or snowmobiles and enjoy their new life together. As we discovered, Steve and Amy were destined to be standing here today together. And we're fortunate to share this moment with them. I'm Stephanie Klett, and from all of us at Discover the Nelsons, thanks for watching. Oh, good luck, Amy.